Hi friends, welcome to the very first episode of Sleepy Tea Time, a weekly podcast where I enjoy a nice cup of tea while helping you relax and eventually fall asleep. My name is Amber and I hope you enjoy your time here with me. You can follow me on @SleepyTeaTime on Twitter, and I'm on SoundCloud/SleepyTeaTime. And I have a website, www.sleepyteatime.com, and my email address is hellosleepyteatime@gmail.com. So if you ever want to send me an email, please feel free. What else am I forgetting? Oh, my newsletter. I also have a newsletter that I send out twice a week. So if you're just listening to the podcast for the first time, I send out tips on relaxation and how to find it and where to find it most importantly. So you can check that out, and let's begin. Let's take a moment to get situated, and I'll begin preparing my tea. I find having a cup of caffeine-free tea before bed really helps me get into the beginning stages of relaxation. So before we begin getting to know one another, I'd like for you to find a quiet place, wherever you are. Ideally, you're laying in your bed right now with your lights off. You might also want to consider listening with headphones to avoid any distractions. Also, I think my voice sounds better in headphones. Like I said earlier, my name is Amber. Most nights I find myself having a hard time getting in the right state of mind to relax. Something I've been struggling with for a while now is giving myself the time that I need to do this. We all need different lengths of time to relax before falling asleep. Do you know how long you need? I found that my mind requires at least 30 minutes to an hour before it can finally drift off. I'm not sure about you, but I used to find myself laying in bed for hours, thinking about every single thing that happened during the day, over and over, picking apart every interaction, mostly the negative ones, and wondering what I could have done better. I've asked a few times on Twitter, why are you currently awake? And most often the response I've gotten was thinking about jobs, about life, and everything else in between. So that's what I'd like you to focus on during this, while doing the opposite and not thinking. Although I found that listening to things like podcasts and YouTube videos puts me in a relaxing state of mind, it didn't always used to be this easy as it is for me now. I'm sure you found your mind wandering a few times during these first few minutes. So let's practice being present in this very moment. Are you here with me? Now, let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and out. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. One more. In through your nose and out. Good. Let's begin with listening to a story. Try to really listen to the words I'm saying, and maybe you can even envision yourself there. If you can't right now, don't worry about it. I'll be stopping every so often to bring you back. Okay, so when I was about, 12 or 13, I went to a middle school. Was it a middle school? Actually, I think it was an elementary school in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And I moved around a lot as a kid, so I didn't really have too many friends at the schools that I attended. It's not because I wasn't like a sociable child, I really was. But I think there got to be a point where I kept moving so much that I couldn't really keep any of the friends that I was making. So I think I, for a little bit, got to a little discouraged about making new friends. So anyways, so I spent a lot of time outside of school at the library. And at the library, I would either go on the computer when it was available, Neopets and whatnot. When it wasn't available, I would go to the into the basement where they had these machines, and I can't remember the name of them, but maybe you can, remind me or tell me later. I would go on these machines that you could actually look at photos of enlarged newspapers from hundreds of years ago and 50 years ago, whatever. So I would go on that, and I would just spend hours in the library as often as I could. I wasn't really much of a outdoorsy kid. I would ride my bike around the town every so often, mostly just to get to the library, but other than that, I like spending my time indoors, usually on the computer. So one day I was in the library and I came across this movie called Fly Away Home. So yeah, I watched, I stayed in the library and I watched Fly Away Home, and I became obsessed with that movie. And I think probably every kid my age was obsessed with it because, it was really cool. Like, this girl had pet geese. So anyways, long story short, I wanted, pet geese of my own, and I thought that if she could do it, then I obviously could do it. So I went into my parents' fridge at home, and I knew I was doing something that wasn't good. And I knew that it wasn't good because as I went into the fridge and grabbed the eggs out of the side of the fridge, my face got really hot. And I knew, and that was a feeling that I felt whenever I was doing something bad. My face would get really hot. But I took the eggs out of the fridge and brought them up to my room. I think I took about 6 of them. They had a lot, so I took the eggs into my room, and before that, I had made my makeshift of like an incubation area in my sock drawer. So I had lined the bottom of my sock drawer with socks and towels, and I made sure that in the sock drawer was everything that I own that was really soft, and then I put the eggs inside of it and got my desk lamp and had it tilted onto the eggs from my parents' fridge. So yeah, did that, and then about 2 days later, I noticed that nothing was really happening, and then I assumed that, this must be because it takes a long time. Maybe it'll take a week max. So I went to school, and I told the few friends I had, the girls, that I was going to be a mother soon to baby chickens. And I was smart. Obviously, I knew geese don't come from chicken eggs. So, but I said that, I was hatching my own. And of course, the girls were very interested and wanted me to bring their own baby chicken eggs to hatch for them. And of course, I didn't tell them that I got them from my parents' fridge, because that would have been too easy. And of course, they could just, go into their own parents' fridge and get their future chick children. So, yeah. Oh, are you still listening? I just wanted to check to make sure. I don't know how you could not listen to this enthralling story. So, okay, let's go back. So yeah, I said I would obviously provide the eggs for my friends to incubate, to have their own chickens, baby chickens. So I went home that night, and I think my stepmom had started noticing that something was missing from the fridge. She didn't suspect it was me, and so we were good. So I was really nervous about taking more eggs out of the fridge. And, I noticed that the eggs that I had upstairs hadn't hatched yet either. So, what more could, just like we had so many eggs. So I didn't feel bad. So I took about another 6 eggs from my parents' refrigerator, and I don't actually remember how I transported them to school, but I did. And I remember meeting all of the girls in the bathroom and just handing out these eggs, and all of them for some reason had purses and put the eggs in their purse, and spent the day with their eggs in their purses. And so that was great. I became everybody's friend, and everyone wanted to be my friend, and it was just a really great day for me at that elementary school. Until I want to make sure you're listening for this part. Until one of the girls broke her egg. And because she broke her egg and started crying, actually, because I would have cried too if I had smashed my future baby chicken. So she started crying, and the teacher was very confused as to number one, why is she crying, and 2, why is there yolk all over her. So eventually it came back that I had given out the eggs, and I was really embarrassed. I remember that feeling, that hot rush to the face when I knew that I had did something that I wasn't supposed to. And then there is, my parents were called, and we did have a meeting, but there is a good ending to the story, and that is I wasn't actually reprimanded too bad. So they took me to see an actual incubation happening, and it was great. It was really awesome that they took it. They took the honest misunderstanding and made it into something educational. So thank you for listening to that. I don't think I've ever told that story before, at least not to anyone that's not an immediate friend or family member. It's a little embarrassing, I guess. Anyways, So now, to close out our very first episode of Sleepy Tea Time, I have a very special guest who decided to come on a little last minute. As he decided to jump up on my lap a few minutes ago. And he just started purring, and so I guess I had to pet him. So the special guest is obviously my kitten, SCOTUS. And so I thought it'd be relaxing for you to listen to him just purring for a few minutes. That's it for Sleepy Tea Time. Tune in next Sunday for another episode. Sweet dreams.